Welcome back to another video on the channel. In this one I'm going to be looking back at the 2020 Women's French Open final between Iga Swiatek and Sofia Kenin. Swiatek came on the scene and just had quite an incredible tournament. We've seen this in previous years with Jelena Ostapenko back in 2017 coming on the scene and win the French Open, and Iga Swiatek repeated that feat today, winning the final 6-4, 6-1 in double quick time. And Kenin didn't really ever get competitive in the match. She struggled with a leg injury, which she doesn't use as an excuse, but it did certainly cause her problems. We know she's got that good defensive style, counter punching, and she wasn't able to cope with the attack and aggression of Swiatek today. What a tournament Swiatek has, and what a potential superstar we have in our hands. 19-year-old, the first ever Polish Grand Slam champion, and won this event without dropping a single set, beating the likes of Eugenie Bouchard, Simona Halep, Trevisan, Podoroska and Sofia Kenin. So she's had no easy draw and just played incredible tennis. I think she dropped something like 24 5 games, didn't drop more than 5 games in any match, and nobody's been able to live with or even control a level at all. Um, Simona Halep win was a massive statement of intent, and I think, set a mark out to everybody else in the draw that she was here to win the tournament. Many people tipped, myself included, Simona Halep to win this event with the format she came into, winning in Prague and then winning in Rome as well. Halep was massive favourite in slow, heavy conditions in Paris. She's won this event before. The defence and counter-punching style of Halep was massively suited to this court. Swiatek was a player who hit 17 clean winners against Halep in one single set, which is, just quite incredible. It's very difficult to hit clean winners against Halep on a fast hard court, let alone on a slow, heavy clay court. And from that point on, when she dominated Halep and closed out that second set easily, we knew it was going to be very difficult for anybody to stop Swiatek. She had the confidence and belief that she was going to go on and win the tournament, and just produced game upon game, and nobody was able to live with her level. Podoroska really struggled in the semi-final, didn't use enough variations, and Podoroska and Swiatek dominated that match. And same again today. I'm just going to talk a little bit about Sofia Kenin and the year she's had. Another young player who came on the scene this year, really. She's had a fantastic year. You look at that Australian Open, she reached the semi-final and done very well, to then beat Ash Barty, who was the world number one at the time, on her home court in Melbourne with all the crowd against her. We did have crowds back then, even though it feels like a million years ago. She beat Ash Barty on the centre court in front of a massive Melbourne crowd, and then beat Garbina Muguruza in the final, who was obviously a former Grand Slam champion. I think Sofia Kenin's got a huge future in the game. You could see how disappointed she was today with the performance, but I'm sure she'll be back, and on reflection, top 5 in the world, a Grand Slam champion in another Grand Slam final. It's been a fantastic 2020 for Sofia Kenin, and probably just the start of her fantastic career. For Kenin, we know she's got a brilliant all-round game. I thought she used the backhand effectively all tournament, the drop shot, so she can adapt to conditions, and she's got lots of variations. Her defence, her counter punching, her mental ability to produce her best tennis in the biggest moments is also a massive attribute for her that I think will take her a long, long way in the game. Had some great wins this week, beating Ferro of France, beating Danielle Collins coming back from behind, and also beating Petra Kvitova in straight sets in what was probably her performance of the week. As I've said, she did have a leg injury. She had the medical timeout, and she said it's not an excuse. Swiatek was the better player and dominated everybody, so you can't say she didn't deserve the title. But it definitely hindered Kenin's movement, particularly in the second set. So talking a little bit about the match, it wasn't the thrilling final that we all expected. It was a little bit one-sided. Swiatek raced into a 3-love lead and just struck the ball with such authority and aggression from ball one, as we sort of expected. She's been doing it all week, and she didn't show any signs of nerves in her first ever Grand Slam final. Kenin struggled with the serve, and Swiatek made her pay for that. On Swiatek's service game, she was making the first serves, attacking the short ball, and hitting painting the lines every shot, and there was very little Kenin could do. Kenin did show all the fighting qualities that we'd expect to see in a Grand Slam final, to actually get back to 3-3 in that opening set, and I thought, this is why I think Kenin's going to win the match today. I did predict Kenin to win. I just thought with that winning experience in Australia and having the defence that she might force the errors out of Swiatek and might take it deep. Swiatek hadn't been pushed going into this match, and I thought if Kenin can take sets to 4-4, 5-5, tie breaks, then she would have the advantage of experience, advantage of being there and doing it before in the past. But neither set got that far. Swiatek gained the first set 6-4, and that was a massive starting point. It's very difficult to come back from a set down in a Grand Slam final, and Swiatek got a medical Kenin had a medical timeout at the start of set 2, and Swiatek really just took over. I think she won 12 out of 13 points at one stage and just dominated the second set, playing fantastic tennis, winning eventually 6-1. So yeah, moving on for both players. Kenin will obviously be back later this year, but the next Grand Slam will be the Australian Open, so she'll be looking to defend a crown there. As I've said before, I think she's had a fantastic year, and I've thoroughly enjoyed watching her. I'm a massive fan of her style and mental toughness that she's got at a very young age. And for Iga Swiatek, well, what an introduction. We'd seen slight signs of a fantastic young player at this year's Australian Open, reaching the fourth round. But to turn up at the French Open and win it without dropping a set is remarkable, really, and it'll go down as one of the greatest ever French Open wins, I'd imagine. To do that at 19 years old is incredible and probably won't be done for a long time. So yeah, for Swiatek, just more of the same, I guess. More aggressive tennis. I'm not sure if she'll play as well as this for 7 matches in a row ever again in her career, but we never quite know. She's inside the top 30, I think, now, and Kenin moves up to, I believe, 5th in the world. But it's been a fantastic French Open. Certainly not the semi-finals that we predicted, when you have Podoroska, who was a fantastic story, 131st in the world. He'd only ever qualified for one Grand Slam before in the past to reach a semi-final. Again, didn't show true colours in the semi-final, but what a run for her to get to this stage. And Petra Kvitova, it was nice to see her get to a semi-final again. After the troubles that she's had off the court with her injury, it was fantastic to see her back, and it would have been nice to see Petra win a Grand Slam. But Kenin played extremely well in that semi-final and deserved her place to fight out for the title. And yeah, another fantastic superstar come along in women's tennis. I was saying today on Twitter that the future of the WTA is unbelievably exciting when you've got the likes of Yastremska, Vondrousova, Osaka, Gauff, Anisimova, Katie McNally, Sophia Kenin, Bianca Andreescu to come back from injury, all under the age of 22 or younger. You've also got Iga Swiatek now to add to that list. The future of the game is very, very bright. We're already treated to many fantastic women's clashes every single tournament. You think we've still got the added experience players of Serena Williams is always thereabouts, Petra Kvitova, Simona Halep, Garbina Muguruza. There's a perfect mix there between youth and experience, but at the moment it's the young players that are dominating the Grand Slams. I think we've had 9 new Grand Slam champions in the last 13 Grand Slams, so they're wide open. Tomorrow we move on to the men's final, Novak Djokovic against Rafael Nadal. It's their 56th meeting, and they're fighting it out for what will be Rafa's 20th Grand Slam title or Djokovic's 18th, so it's a complete contrast to the WTA. The big three have dominated their slams for the past 10 years or so. But yeah, another fantastic advert for women's tennis in this past 2 weeks, and we move on to the next tournament. And yeah, anybody who's watched a video this week, thanks a lot. And me previews for the Rafa and Djokovic match, and also analysis video, the big points I think going into the match, are also already on the channel. So if you do want to check them out, they're already in the channel. So if you've got any comments about the final tomorrow or the final today, please leave them in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.